Man United. Lisandro Martinez's deflected effort secures a much-needed win for Ruben Amorim's side at Craven Cottage. Amid the darkness of this troubled Manchester United season, this barely deserved victory will stand out as a rare pinprick of light. It has to, as United and their new manager Ruben Amorim tried desperately to inch forwards. Any foray onto a football field that doesn't end in disappointment is a positive. A scrappy game settled by a deflected winner is more than acceptable for now. For Fulham, meanwhile, this was a chance missed, an opportunity to score a notable win against one of English football's established order. Marco Silva's team have been impressive in the main this season, but after an enterprising half an hour, they fell away badly. By the time the game reached its latter stages, they were a team waiting to be beaten, and that is exactly that happened. United central defender Lisandro Martinez had played much of this game on the edge. He often does, and his two-footed stamp when challenging Adama Traore in the 62nd minute should have been penalized by some kind of card. It wasn't, and for some reason VAR chose not to get involved. In English football these days, it's not okay to trip your opponent in his own half. But it is to try something altogether more violent and dangerous. Work that one out. With just 11 minutes remaining, Martinez appeared in a forward area to make an impact of an entirely different kind as his shot from 21 yards looped up off Fulham's Sasa Lukic and somehow found the top corner of the goal. Manchester United left it late to claim all 3 points in their clash with Fulham on Sunday. Lisandro Martinez's deflected strike was all that separated the two teams at Craven Cottage. Ruben Amorim's side labored to victory, registering just a single shot on target all game. For Fulham, there was still time to correct what must have felt like an injustice. And they almost equalized in the 88th minute, only for United substitute Toby Collier to clear a Joachim Anderson header off the line. Then, deep into added time, Fulham's Rodrigo Muniz lashed a shot over when he really should have hit the target. The truth is, though, that all the urgency came too late. The end-of-game statistics, possession, shots and touches in the respective penalty areas suggested Fulham had been the better team, and they probably had been. But they hadn't been so in the moments that mattered, and by full-time they were only grateful that what appeared to be another United goal by Amad Diallo was ruled out for a marginal VAR offside. Fulham felt like favourites at the outset, and that in itself takes some getting used to. But Marco Silva's team have been the ones with form and a discernible pattern of play this season. United, the team still desperately searching for something. What United didn't have enough of during an opening half that Fulham largely controlled was possession of the ball. It has been a modern United problem for years, and it isn't showing signs of getting any better under Amorim. United were earnest and willing to run around, but too often they were chasing, too often when they did have the ball they gave it away. Their young centre-forward Rasmus Højlund, preferred here to Joshua Zirkzee, looked particularly troubled, unable to give his team the out ball they desperately needed. Not that Fulham looked like scoring. They didn't really. Their two best chances came at the end of runs from Alex Iwobi, in the 16th and 20th minutes. Both were similar and saw the former Arsenal player cutting in from the left onto his right foot. The first low shot required Andre Onana to save at a stretch low to his left, while the second was more straightforward to deal with. Fulham were just better, though. Their passing was sharper and more ordered, their awareness of where a teammate was more natural and instinctive. In short, Fulham looked coached in a way that United stuck fast to Amorim's 4-4-3 just didn't. It was down their left side that Fulham looked more cohesive. Calvin Bassey and Anthony Robinson have a good understanding, while Iwobi further forward seemed to know when to push on alone or wait for his left-back Robinson to come flying by on his outside. The final ball could certainly have been better. Twice Robinson got into excellent crossing positions on the run, but the first delivery was overhit while the second lacked accuracy. Both teams lacked the necessary creative spark throughout much of the opening 45-minute. The midfield battle was being consistently won by Fulham, but they were not really managing to build on it. Harry Maguire, fresh from a big mistake against Rangers in the Europa League on Thursday, made one perfectly timed tackle to halt the dashing Harry Wilson on the edge of the penalty area, while Matthijs de Ligt blocked well as Iwobi tried to move on to a stray ball 12 yards from goal. United didn't really get forward at all in the first 20 minutes but were slightly more progressive as the half and indeed the game wore on. When de Ligt applied a weak header to a free kick just before halftime, Amorim's team did at least have a shot on target to their name. United were no more potent in the second half of what quickly deteriorated into a quite soporific game. Fulham could not maintain their first half impetus and as such offered United a way into the game. But as the evening reached the 70-minute mark, United hadn't looked remotely like taking it. Amorim made some changes as Xerxes replaced the hapless Højlund and Lenny Yoro came on for de Ligt. Fulham, meanwhile, were forced into a change as Wilson was replaced by Adama Traoré after picking up an injury to his foot. United had a little more ball and a Bruno Fernandes free kick found the side netting as the United captain rolled his shot from 19 yards under the defensive wall as it jumped. At the other end, a couple of Fulham crosses caused Onana in the United goal some mild concern. Onana came unconvincingly for a corner only for a red shirt to clear and then was scrambling towards his back post from open play when Maguire headed behind. Other than that and a Traoré shot that flew over in the 75th minute, the half was only notable for that terrible tackle by Martinez on the Fulham substitute. Martinez jumped in with 2 feet in a stamping motion as Traoré tried to go past him, somehow missing both ball and man. United were nearly pegged back in the closing stages but were saved by a goal-line clearance from Toby Collier. Amad Diallo had the ball in the net in stoppage time but his effort was ruled out for offside. He has form for this, having previously done likewise against Crystal Palace and Liverpool this season. Once again there was no punishment and no intervention from VAR. Nor were there any complaints from Fulham and a little more than 15 minutes later Martinez was making his presence felt in an altogether more legitimate fashion. A lovely pass from Fernandes freed Alejandro Garnacho to the byline and when the ball ran loose to Martinez, his shot from 20 yards looped up off Lukic and over Bernd Leno. It was a lucky goal and United didn't deserve it. But nor could Fulham complain. They had not played well enough in the second half and as such had invited trouble. Silva's team now had 11 minutes or so of regular time to save themselves. From somewhere they had to find a cutting edge they had hitherto lacked. Twice they came close. Collier's header off the line from Anderson was fantastic, Muniza's subsequent shot over from 10 yards rather less so. Fulham 0-1 Man United player ratings which scored a shocking 310. Who is wasted in new role? And which defender was the best player on the pitch? Manchester United needed a slice of luck to leave West London as the victors in what was a low-quality contest against Fulham on Sunday night. Ruben Amorim's side looked to be heading for a stalemate until Lisandro Martinez's speculative strike deflected in over Bernd Leno to send the travelling fans into delirium. While the likes of Harry Maguire and Martinez came away with credit in the bank, this was still a display that raised plenty of questions about the capability of Manchester United right now. For Fulham this was an off night where they were unable to get their most dangerous players into any positions that could hurt Manchester United. Mail Sports' Nathan Salt runs the rule over how each Manchester United star performed at Craven Cottage. Lisandro Martinez scored a match-winning goal to help Manchester United to victory at Fulham. The Manchester United number 6 was mobbed by teammates after his strike deflected in late on. Ruben Amorim has now overseen 4 wins in 5 games despite concerns over performances. Andre Onana 6 did his job in what was a dreadfully poor game from both attacks. Alex Iwobi stung his gloves with a low drive early on but it was routine from then on. Matthijs de Ligt, 6.5 made a number of key blocks and clearances that helped reduce the efficiency of Fulham's left side, their strongest asset both attacking and defending. Went 32-27 on his passing and appears to be growing in confidence the longer he plays alongside Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, 7.5 best player on the pitch. Ruben Amorim is missing a lot of things right now but he knows he can lean on the England centre-back for leadership and his interventions ensured a clean sheet on the road here for the Red Devils. Has been a model of consistency for weeks now. Lisandro Martinez, 7 scored his second goal of the season and while it required a large slice of luck if you don't buy a ticket you won't win the raffle. defended resolutely and delivered the big moment to open this game up and ultimately lead United to victory.